Hey, how you doing? Duff here, and what you're looking at is my latest printer that was sent to me by GearBest for evaluation. The AnyCubic i3 MEGA. What attracted me to this one was the assembly appears, from what I've read, to be more in line with the CR10, and it's not a full kit, you know, where you're putting anything and everything together. So that was attractive to me. So I'm going to get it out of the box. First thing you want to do with any made in China printer is make sure that the voltage selector is at 110. It was at 220, so it's kind of hard to actually see where the actual slider is, but just stick a small screwdriver in there and slide it over to the right, if you have 110 power, that is. The other thing I thought that was interesting about this one, this printer, was that it uses, instead of like using rubber wheels like the CR10 does for the rails, it's sliding on bearings here. So that's kind of different. So as far as what the parts that are in the box, you have the base here. You have the Z axis, basically. Well, the Z and the Y axis here. Or no, Z and the X axis. Yeah. All assembled, all ready to go. And then you have just a power cord, a full roll of PLA, and some miscellaneous parts here. This is the spool holder that it comes with. So yeah, it does not look bad at all. Wow, this comes with a complete backup hot end. Complete. That's really cool. Nice. Nice little set of tools. You got a cutter. It's an end stop. I'm not sure if that's an extra one. Allen keys, wrenches you'll need, and a few screws. You also get a USB cable. SD cards. Is that more than one? Huh, that almost looks like it's two SD cards. And a big scraper. And the other thing I can tell right away is that the manual is more substantial than what I'm used to seeing, which is kind of cool. Assembly information, I mean, to be honest with you, this looks simple enough that I might be able to do it without hardly looking at the directions, but we will look at them. They actually send you gloves, because it says, wear gloves because the smooth rods and lead screw may be greased from the factory. Well, that's true. So, okay, that's nice of them. I'll put on my gloves. Alright, to screw the base to the uprights, you use these M5 8mm screws, and they give you a total of 8 of them. Let me get them installed. These first couple lined up is a bit of a challenge. I think it's going to be a little bit easier in this orientation. Driver, because it's magnetic, it'll be easier to hold the screws. I'm just going to put these in loose to start. I wonder what the hell that is. So basically it's just 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm wondering if I might be able to get this from the side now that I have the first 4 in. Maybe. Let's give it a go. Yep. Yeah, after doing that Ender kit, I'm definitely a fan of almost ready to go printers, I think. Like the CR10. Like this. I didn't find that I got tons of satisfaction out of spending, 2 or 3 hours putting the Ender together. Closer to 3. Has a dual Z motors. If I'm not mistaken, I think RC Life On, Simon from RC Life On, I think he has one of these as well. Because I kind of remember seeing his review and I believe it was favorable. Another reason that I was interested in picking one of these up. Okay, come on. That's the one spot that this driver does not fit very well. Right there. It feels very solid. I have to put these bolts in here. Oh yeah, did you notice in the beginning of the video that I've changed everything around? Because of getting this printer and because of the clearance issues that I had with the CR10 here, with it hitting the shelf above, I kind of moved everything around. Okay. Alright. Screws are on. Screws are in, switch it to 110. And then basically I'm plugging in connectors here. All color coded. Red, green, and black. Okay, plugged in. Still don't know what this is. I bet that goes there. Interesting, what is that? It's just a magnet with an up arrow on it. I'm curious what that's for. As you can see, the cables are all tied up nicely, and I think I'm pretty close to done. Alright, I'm gonna quickly put together this spool holder here. I think I'm done with the gloves. I have Cindy in here helping me peel the protective paper off the acrylic. A rather tedious job. You go both sides now? Oh.
No, just showing.
And then these two.
Oh, nice.
You see, it sucks. Like you get it started, but it doesn't necessarily always come as much. Too bad there. But it doesn't always rip cleanly as one piece. Like I think it should. Alright, thanks to Cindy's help, I've got all the plastic off here. Now I'm trying just to get these side supports on, so shouldn't take long. The first one of these I was like trying to balance it inside the frame here while I was screwing it on, but I just realized it's actually much simpler than that. You just get the nut started, and then you can insert, insert it, and then just kind of hold the nut in place. the nuts held by that little cutout there in the acrylic, so. I was making it overly complicated. One thing I neglected to mention was the specs of the AnyCubic i3 MEGA. The build size on this is 210 by 210 by 205. So yeah, it's not a huge build plate, but it's not bad either. Bowden extruder setup, 0.4 millimeter nozzle, pretty standard stuff. Heated bed. It says here in the book that max bed temperature 110 degrees Celsius. I don't know about that. But yeah, that's the specs. And it does have filament detection, and I believe it also has power loss continue features as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll try all that stuff out. Okay, so I just plugged it in. It's nice that everything's integrated here, that you don't have a separate control box off to the side. I really like that, definitely. So let's turn it on and hope nothing blows up. It's all touch screen. Just want to see if I could home it. We're going to try to home the axes. Home all. I'm not sure what those beeps mean as it's coming down. Alright, we're homed. So what it says I should do first is load some filament, but don't actually push it all the way into the hot end. You're supposed to, curious about what that beeping's about. Maybe because there's no, I bet it's because there's no filament in there. Let me put some in and see what happens. Okay, so it instructs me to now begin leveling the bed. So it seems like it works like anything else. You disable the stepper motors, and then you level the bed just like the CR10. The knobs feel more robust, more precise than the CR10. So let me finish this up here. Okay, so I'm doing a test print that's on the SD card. There's an owl that's included on the SD card of this. I really like this screen. It's cool. So you know, it's leaps and bounds ahead of what you get with the CR10. Very nice. So right now the bed's heating, and we'll see what happens. So in my stable of printers, size-wise, capacity-wise, the AnyCubic probably will be in second place as far as capacity goes. I think technically that the Neva can print something higher than the AnyCubic, but the AnyCubic can print something bigger. You know, this is bigger than that. The bed temperature is raising much faster than I am used to with my CR10. The Ender 2 bed actually gets warm quite quickly as well, but that's a much smaller bed too. But this is almost up to temperature. It's only been a few minutes, actually 3 minutes according to the control panel. Okay, the timer just clicked over to 4 minutes, and the bed is already up to temperature, and the hot end is now coming up to 200 degrees. So far, so good. There's a little bit of weirdness until the filament got flowing, but the first layer looks pretty good to me. Noise isn't bad. This filament detection setup seems a little wonky to me. kind of weird. But filming is feeding, so that's all that matters. While this test print's going, I'm just reading through the manual. This, without a doubt, this is the best manual I've gotten on any of my printers so far. It's not even close. So far, so good, man. Liking it. So not only do you get the extra complete hot end, you get an extra stop. I guess this could be a Z stop or an X stop or a Y stop, I'm not sure. An extra bolt. All these tools, cutters, a real nice little tweezers. That's great for like grabbing ooze before print starts. Yeah, I'm impressed. Alright, this seems to be printing just fine right now, so I'll be back when it's finished and show you the end result. Just one more thing to the growing list of things that seem, at least initially, very cool about the AnyCubic i3 MEGA is they actually give you a full, this feels like a full, it doesn't say, but this feels like a full 1 kilogram spool of PLA filament. Every other printer I've ever gotten, if I get filament, it's a little tiny bit that they throw in. So again, nice move, man. Still printing great. So there you see my test prints, my first prints on the AnyCubic i3 MEGA. To the OWL test print, looks fine. And it came off the bed easy. It just, I mean, I didn't use a scraper or anything. I just picked them off, popped right up. So that's awesome. So there you go. That's my initial print and unboxing and first thoughts on the AnyCubic i3 MEGA. Really, everything has been great so far. 8 screws to put it together, and that was really it. I mean, I was printing within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, which is pretty amazing. Lots of good features. The control panel is awesome. I like the format. I like the layout where everything is incorporated into one unit instead of having the gantry and then the control box off to either side. I like this setup much better. The LCD is very easy to use, very small learning curve. I like the tools that are included. I love that they include a spare hot end assembly, a complete spare hot end assembly, an extra XYZ stop sensor, a couple extra screws, a nice set of tools. I think it's awesome that they give you a full kilogram of PLA filament, and the manual is the best manual that I've gotten with any of my 3D printers thus far. So everything so far is cool. I did a quick look on Thingiverse for some of the common mods that they do for this, and I'm going to keep an eye on my printer to see if anything appears problematic, so maybe I will look at some of those down the road. The only thing that jumps out at me that is kind of clunky is this setup over here with the filament detection setup. It just seems very odd. I mean, it worked and my print was fine, but it just seems like there ought to be a better way to do that. And the only other thing might be, I saw a few ways to print a spool holder that's actually mounted to the machine itself, which again would be some space-saving opportunities there. I saw one where the filament is actually mounted this direction, so and attached right to it, so it would even take up less table space. Okay, so I will be sure to update you as I go along on my my long-term thoughts with the AnyCubic i3 MEGA. Again, I would like to thank GearBest for sending me this printer to review. You will see a link down below that you can use if you're interested in trying out this printer yourself. I would say it really is a nice unit. It's almost like if someone wants to have a beginner unit, but they don't want to be totally insulated from a lot of the ins and outs of 3D printing, you know, like the Finder and the Dagam and Neva do to a degree. They kind of hide some of the complexity from the user. This allows you to use, you know, Cura and you know, and all the settings that you ever would want to touch are here. but it all just goes together and just works, you know, it just works out of the box, which is kind of cool. Oh, and if you found this video helpful, please take a second to hit that like button. If it's your first time stopping in, please take a second to become a subscriber. Looking for more 3D content down the road, because I can guarantee you there will be a lot of it. So that's it for real. Definitely.